morning. So today I have my Max with us, who is an entrepreneur with a passion for solving problems and monetizing business ideas to make the lives of thousands of people better. He is currently the partnership developer for AirGarage and the co-founder of careerflex.com. So let's welcome Max on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where he will tell us about his experience, what he's learned, and how he could help you get that dream job that you've always wanted. Hi Max. How are you doing today?
Good, Manal. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much. How's your Monday going so far?
It's going good. Had a wedding on Friday, so I got my dancing out for the weekend and just getting into a busy weekend or busy week. But
Are you good at dancing?
I'm horrible. I'm like as flexible as uncooked spaghetti. But I was learning on the fly, like most things in life. So, I was planning on watching a YouTube or two before, and ended up just having fun with it. And I think the key to dancing is, like most things in life, you have to have be willing to fall on your face and also be willing to embarrass yourself and just kind of go for it.
If it makes you feel any better, whenever we've had dance practices, they've always made me stand at the back because I suck so much.
Yeah,
So I hope you find comfort in that.
that does make me feel better. But thank you first and foremost for
of,
inviting me onto the
of
podcast.
course. So, Max, can you tell us about your experience, where you're currently working, and your company itself?
Yeah, of course. So currently now I'm with a seed stage startup called AirGarage. AirGarage is a self-parking tech company. We essentially help landlords better monetize their parking real estate, whether that's through selling hourly parking or through other strategic monetization initiatives. My background is kind of interesting because I didn't really know anything about parking prior to joining AirGarage. I just realized that it seems like a good idea, and I knew I had a love for growing young businesses, and that's kind of what gets me out of bed every morning. But my background was originally actually in something really unique and niche, which is retail liquidation. So when I graduated college, I found my way into working as a retail liquidator, meaning I would go to large scale store closing events like Toys R Us, Gymboree, etc., and actually manage the wind down of those businesses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a little bit somber, as you can imagine. On the last day, there was a lot of people. Everybody was working their hands to the bone, and then they didn't have a job at the end. So, um, through recognizing that, my brother and I, as well as our third partner, developed a way to help all of those employees transition from their last job to their next. And we called it Career Flex. We had a lot of early success working with Charming Charlie, Saks off Avenue, Lord and Taylor, etc. So was really excited to be able to help so many people find their next job and career. And kind of after that, I knew I had a love for finding great ideas and kind of building those ideas and kind of scaling them to full size. So that's why I decided to join Air Garage.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And I think it's very interesting because you didn't have a traditional career path where you decided that you would do something and then move on to something else.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see, I think a lot of people find it hard usually that they're like, oh, we can't do this anymore because we decided this for ourselves. So this is definitely motivational for people who are willing to make that career change, because you don't really have to stick with something that you're not happy at the end of the day, because life's too short and you should do something that you're passionate about. So thank you for sharing that, Max. It's definitely really helpful. And Max, I'd love to hear, because you started your own company, which started with you identifying a problem and then solving that problem. How, like, for example, if I want to start a business, if I want to become an entrepreneur, what would be some things that I should keep into consideration, specifically start when starting my own business?
I think the biggest thing when starting a business and thinking about the considerations of doing so is really scratching your own itch. And what I mean is, you really have to, like, the best businesses are all solved by solving problems that people have. Because if you can solve somebody's problem, you can create value for them, and that value is transactional. So, um, you know, whenever I always knew I kind of wanted to be an entrepreneur or work in the startup space. When I was in high school, my brother and I started a little moving company with my pickup truck and our friends before high school football practice called Lovable Lifters, where we were just kind of networking our way from interior designers and then moving things around. After I graduated college, I knew I wanted to get back into it, and I was constantly writing down business ideas. But the one that we really decided to pursue was the one that was just so obvious and right in front of our face. It was like everybody was, on the last day of these store closing events, were asking me, Max, can you help, read through my resume? Can you help me build a resume? Can you help me provide, can you give me some sort of proof of unemployment? What do I do next? Just all of these questions. And I was like, okay, well, I would love to help you, but I can't help everybody as one person. But if we, build a product that can help people at scale, then we can solve not only the problem I have, which is I just don't have enough time to help everybody, but we can also solve this huge problem that there's all these people are going out of business at the same time. There's this massive influx of qualified talent because they're all working, and they're all going to work again, and just kind of building this funnel. So the answer to the question is, you got to scratch your own itch. You got to solve a problem that you experience or that you've witnessed and that you can like kind of see and really understand. And those are the best founders and the best businesses.
Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind. So thank you for sharing that. And Max, I'd love to hear because you mentioned that a lot of people asked you for advice when it came to the resume, when it came to just asking for steps regarding their next career transition. What are some good practices for people that are looking for jobs in the market that they should deploy when that would give them a competitive advantage compared to other candidates in the market?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because it ranges so like the advice ranges so much from whether if you're talking about like retail folks to like startup world like senior engineers, but the biggest things are really I would call it like coloring it within the lines, meaning you want to stay within like the boundaries of a resume. Like you don't want to have a 3-page resume or something crazy where it's like abstract and like the recruiter's like, what is why are you giving me more work than I need to? So you want to keep it, the format the same, but you really need to show your personality and color within those lines. So using metrics and like not being afraid to ask your manager, like, hey, what was our growth numbers from when I started to now? And what were our sales when I was working compared to when I wasn't? Um, or and just kind of being able to quantify your achievements is something that a lot of people kind of fail to do. They use a lot of like boilerplate words, and they are very generic in the way they're marketing themselves, when really what you want to do is hone in and say like, when I do X we get Y, and if you want me to do X, I'll give you Y as well. And basically just saying and quantifying as much as possible how your roles and the work that you do creates positive outputs for the business.
Okay, well, that sounds great. And I think specifically putting numbers, it's very easy because I think when you're going through a resume, the numbers specifically stand out. So definitely pointing that out and quantifying it is a good way to go ahead. And Max, considering you're working with Air Garage now, the company is fast growing. Can you tell us about whether the company is hiring, what kind of positions are open, and if people are interested, they can definitely know where to apply?
Yeah, sure. So when I started, we were had just raised our seed round, so I was one of the first employees. And about 2 months later, COVID hit. So being in the commercial real estate industry, you could call it, during a global pandemic was not the best time. But thankfully, we are up like 600% this year alone, and are in the process of raising our Series A right now. So we are definitely going to be hiring probably about 15 to 20 positions by the end of the year. A lot of exciting growth with Air Garage. We're going to be hiring SDRs. We're going to be hiring engineers, both senior and entry, and as well as like ops, marketing, kind of city launcher positions. So, if anybody's interested in hopping on the rocket ship, they can email me at max@airgarage.com, and I can kind of get your resume in the right hands, and make sure that we're qualifying you.
Well, thank you so much, Max. Our time is up. Thank you so much for sharing that about your insights, about your career journey, and just sharing your resume because a lot of people are like, I don't want my inbox to be filled with a lot of emails, but I can see the ambition that you have with helping people. So that's definitely really admirable. And I hope you enjoy at the wedding and I hope you have fun at dancing. But thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank you,
show.
Manal. Appreciate it.
Thank you.